Which is a better long entry in the S&P 500? Is it the golden cross when the 50 period simple crosses above the 200? Or is it in fact the death cross, which is the inverse and the counterintuitive strategy? That's the question we're looking to answer in today's video with a side-by-side backtest comparison of the golden cross strategy versus the death cross strategy on the S&P 500 over the same 20-year period. Last week, I made a video in which we did a 20-year backtest of the golden cross trading strategy. Now, we looked at the backtest results and they looked pretty positive, and we also looked at the death cross results, but this time we were using the death cross as a short side opportunity. There in the comments section, two people had similar ideas, which got me thinking. Both of these ideas were around using the death cross as an actual long entry instead of a short side entry. You can see the consistent themes here, and this is something we can in fact backtest. So that's exactly what I went about trying to do, building our backtester to be able to backtest the golden cross versus death cross trading strategies for the long side entry only. Now, a quick recap for those of you that are unfamiliar. The golden cross is when the 50 period simple crosses above the 200 period simple. And the death cross is the exact opposite when the 50 period simple crosses below the 200 period simple. Now, typically, people are using this for the short side entry, but with the backtest tweaks that we make, we're going to check what happens if we go long instead on a death cross signal and compare the two backtest results side by side. Now, inside of Thinkorswim, I have our moving average crossover backtester loaded on. This is a free backtester. I'll leave a link to download it in the description box below. Now, by default, our buy-side order is looking for the golden cross. That's where the fast period simple crosses above the 200 period simple, and that's when the backtester buys to open. It sells to close when the fast period simple, so the 50 period simple, crosses below the 200 period simple. Now, underneath this, you'll notice I've added in two additional lines of code, and these are the two additional lines necessary to test the death cross alternative. Now, before we look at those, let's first set our baseline with this golden cross trading strategy, the one that's default built in, the standard one. Now, if I right click and we show report, there's three metrics we want to pay attention to. The first is the max trade P&L here. Here we can see the max trade P&L is 10.26K, so let's call it 10.2K is our max here. Our total P&L is 7K, and the total number of orders that we have is 9. This is again over a 20-year period, going all the way back. We can see the first order in 2004. Now, out of these 9 trades, we can see 1, 2, 3 losers, so 6 out of these 9 trades have been winners. Now let's switch the script and let's see what happens if we go long every single time we have a death cross. I'm going to uncomment out both of these two lines, and I'm going to comment out the golden cross trading strategy up here. Now in this first line, the buy to open, I'm checking if the 50 period simple has crossed below the 200 period simple, aka the death cross. If that's the case, we're going to go long. We're going to take our profits or our stop anytime we have the same cross, so the 50 period simple crossing below the 200 period simple. The only caveat is it needs to happen in the future so that we can make sure we don't exit on the same candle that we entered. So if I paint you a picture here, let's use this cyan line as the 50 period simple. So we're looking to enter when, say, our 50 period simple crosses below our 200 period simple, so that's this point right here. This is when we're looking to get long, and we're looking to ride this trend even when that 50 crosses above and stay all the way in until it finally crosses back down below, and we're looking to exit at this point. So that's what this add order condition is meant to do. Now if I click apply, okay, we can now see the backtester does exactly that. If I zoom into an entry here, you can see our entry is when we have the death cross, we have the blue crossing below the 200 simple line, and we stay all the way in when the moving averages cross above, and we ride this trend all the way until we cross below for the second time. So now using the death cross strategy, if we take a look at the results, the same metrics we studied earlier, we can see our max trade P&L has increased to 15.8K. Earlier, we were in the 10K mark for our golden cross strategy. So this number is higher. Our total P&L has jumped to 30.3K. This number is higher compared to our golden cross, which was closer to the 20s range. And the total number of orders that we have is still the same 9 orders. If we take a look at the number of stops we have 1, 2, and 3 stops here. So still we're going 6 out of 9. And the stops, you should notice, are also a little bit bigger compared to the stops that we had earlier. So you have trade-offs both ways, but what we did learn through this exercise is that the death cross is most definitely a better way to try and enter long, especially if you have a longer horizon. We saw the P&L was much higher with the death cross when going long, compared to the golden cross, which is somewhat counterintuitive. So to those 2 people who pointed that out in the comments, thank you. This was a fun backtest, and hopefully you got something out of it as well. You can run the same exercise on your favorite markets, the other indices, your favorite stocks, whatever it is, to try and see, well, is the death cross, the counterintuitive one, actually the better strategy to go long in stocks you want to build your portfolio around. Take care, everyone. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in our next update.